Most people would usually come into my comment section or my Twitch chat and ask, you have any tips on getting diamond? I would usually refer them to these two videos, and although they're a little bit old, they still have some really good tips. But whenever I'm playing with someone who I know wants to get better, I tell them, hey, you could have done this different or that different in this situation, you would have been able to get the win. But then they say, I'm not you, I can't do that. They, for some reason, have a pre-existing mindset that they're just not born good enough. And no matter how much effort that they put into the game, they can't get as good as some of the players that they look up to. They think that there's some kind of shortcut that pro players use that makes them stay the best. But really, that's just not true. The only thing that players do to stay good at the game is T-hunt and practice with their actual team. There really are no shortcuts other than finding a good sense and playing T-hunt. A lot of people want to know the answer to getting picked up by an amazing team. The simple answer is just win your gunfights. That's how you stand out. But now there's just a meme where people say, just win your gunfights, just stand still, just whatever. Now I do agree that just stand still for Lion is a meme, but the whole just win your gunfights was made as an excuse for people not wanting to put the work in. No one's cursed. No one's destined to not be good at something that they really want to be good at. If you take a look at yourself now and you really want to be good at Siege, the only two outcomes are success or you just don't like playing Siege anymore. Just look at me, for example. When I first started playing Siege, I was a bronze player and I would only play casual, but eventually I decided to get really good at Siege, and that same season where I was bronze, I made it to Plat 1. But if you look at the old game, the ranks are kind of reversed, so the first Plat rank would be Plat 1, then 2, then 3, and then Diamond, so technically I hit Plat 3. Now I get asked all the time, what are your settings? What is your FOV? What is your aspect ratio? What is your sense? What are your lean keys? Do you have lean on toggle or hold? Do you have crouch on toggle or hold? Do you have prone on toggle or hold? Do you have jump binded to somewhere else from your spacebar? But none of that matters to making you the best player you can be. Don't try and play or be like someone else, because once you start trying to be someone else, you will never become better than that person. All the time, I'm bound to see at least one person a day just spamming their lean keys, thinking it makes them a better player. But really, you just look like a spastic to everyone spectating you. Now, if you're a little bit confused on which of these tips need to be applied to you, here's a simple rundown. Now, if you're on console and you want to get better, your main goal right now is getting to PC. A lot of people tell me, hey, I have friends on console. I don't want to leave them and go to PC. I think I'm going to be worse on PC. But really, that's just not true. Now, with the whole getting better part, you already know how to play the game. All you got to learn how to do is learn how to play the game mechanically. And with your friends, if they got the option to swap to PC, they wouldn't think twice about their friends. You aren't doing them a favor by staying. They'll find new friends, you'll find new friends on PC, the only difference is you'll be a lot farther than them. If you are in copper, bronze, or silver, all you can do is focus on your aim. There is no building game sense because I swear, these people are a different species. They will sit in the most random corner and catch you off guard, and that's how you can lose a game. Now, if you're struggling a little bit with aiming, get a desk, get a big mouse pad, get a good mouse, and that's all you need. You gotta save up a little bit of money. My desk was 80 bucks. My mouse was 60 bucks. My mouse pad, which is huge, was 40 bucks. It doesn't take that much to save up for 180 bucks. Your PC parts don't even need to be amazing. I built a budget PC for 450 bucks for a friend of mine, and he could run the game pretty decently. If you want the exact specs of that PC, check the description. Another mistake I see a lot of players making, even myself at one point, was having a really high sense. Trust me, don't get a really high sense, because the higher your sense goes, it becomes really difficult to gain muscle memory. Now, another point that I wanted to make in this video was that if you use a mouse and keyboard on console and think you're nuts, you're just delusional. You're not nuts. You're playing against people with controllers. You have a mouse that can flick to people's heads in an instant, and your opponents have joysticks that have a cap speed to flicking at people's heads. Well, congrats, you're out of silver. Now you're in the realm of gold players. This is where it starts to get a little bit more serious. And by the way, just because we're in gold doesn't mean you get to stop improving your aim. You're always improving on your aim. And the same thing goes for all the tips I'm about to say for plat, high gold, low plat, diamond, whatever. I also want to include in this video, don't make friends with any silver, bronze, or copper players, because if you become really good friends with them, it'll become super hard to progress forward without them slowing you down. If you just want to queue with people, that's fine. Don't become super close with them. Now that you're in gold, I strongly advise against solo queuing. Maybe for the first few games when you just get in gold, you can go ahead and solo queue, but play those games wisely. Try and find a really good player to help support you to try and get out of gold as soon as possible. Now, the next thing you need to be learning is map knowledge and every single callout for all the ranked maps. Now, I'm going to be running a little bit of a test. I'm going to pull out 1, maybe 2 or 3 callouts from each map, and if that general area doesn't pop in your head in the first 3 seconds, you're not done with map knowledge. You need to go through it again. By the way, we're going to exclude Hereford and Villa from this test. On Skyscraper, do you know what Dragon is? Do you know what Restaurant is? On Border, do you know Break Room? AC? Triple Wall? On Cafe, do you know Cocktail? Minibar? On Clubhouse, do you know Dirt? Probably do. Gun Rack? Supply Closet? Or Lounge? On Bank, do you know Tunnel? Red? Loan Office? Do you know what Printer is? On Chalet, do you know Barrels? If someone calls out Barrels to you, do you know what to make of it? Do you know Trench? On Coastline, do you know Red or Guitar? Do you know the Dresser? If someone calls out Dresser to you, do you know how to react? On Consulate, do you know Pipes? Lockers? Antechamber? Benches? Paper? Or Long? On Oregon, do you know Harry Potter? Box? Hamper? Highway? T2 or T3? On Theme Park, do you know Yellow? Long? Or Control? If you didn't know a few of these callouts, you need to go back and learn more map knowledge. Again, we're in gold. You can't really learn how players play in gold. We'll get to that later. Alright, now you're at the stage where you're a gold and you're trying to transition into being a plat player. And oh boy, do high gold and low plat players have the biggest egos in the world. This usually happens in a player when they start to blame the game and blame their teammates way too much. Please don't start blaming your teammates for everything. There are moments where your teammate dies and he's meant to call out where he died from, but even then, don't put 100% of the blame on them. You should be training yourself to have the game sense to know where he died from 70% of the time. If you look at some of the newer players that are making the name for themselves, like, let's just say Modiga, Yaga, Nyx, just to name a few, they would always take a small percentage of the blame no matter what mistake was made on the team. Now, if you just aren't capable and all you do is blame your teammates, why would any decent team pick you up over someone that never blames their teammates and always takes some sort of responsibility for what happened? Alright, now you're a Plat 3 player. In my opinion, you're not a Plat player yet. You gotta get to Plat 2 to be considered a Plat player. Now we're at the stage where all you can really do to get better and better and better slowly is playing T-Hunt and just playing the game a whole lot more than what you do currently. This is where you can start learning from your mistakes and building up game sense, because most high elo players have routines that they go through, and the faster you learn their routines, the better you'll become and the smarter you'll get. If you ever find yourself in a slump, we all have those days where you drone a room for 30 seconds and then some dude just walks in and kills you. Unlucky, whatever. If you're constantly dropping 0 to 3 kills every game, then you're in a slump. In my experience, you don't want to drone, you just rush in, you're trying to peek everything and just keep getting shut down. Doing this and not changing anything will keep prolonging the slump. All you need to do in that situation, step away, go get some food, come back, drone yourself for the rest of the time. Now, if you're playing smart, but you just can't kill anybody, your sense is probably too high. If you are a player who has a really high sense, and you always tell people what your sense is, expecting a reaction out of them, then you care more about the reaction than improving in the game. Like I said before, the higher your sense is, the more difficult it'll become to build muscle memory. Now, you've gotten to Plat 1. Plat 1 and Diamond are basically the same thing to me. Rank just isn't going to cut it anymore. Now you gotta find a team, doesn't matter what team, as long as they know how to play the game well. If they keep saying to the team, sorry guys, I should have won that, but I'm trash. If they keep reiterating that to the whole team, that's not the kind of player you want to have on your team. Find a team that wants to get better with you, but always keep in mind, if you get an offer for a better team, always 100% of the time, take it. That is how you move up in the world of esports. This doesn't just apply to Siege, it applies to every single game. If you're struggling trying to find a team, go try R6TMs. If there's any place to make a name for yourself, that's it. Now, if you're struggling with any point in this whole video, I have some streamers that you can go watch for guidance. Those links are in the description. Now, if you guys feel like I missed anything, feel free to comment down below. I'll keep updating the description with anything I missed. So if you made it to the end of the video, check the description to see if there's any updated information. And yeah, with that all said, I hope this video improved your gameplay, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.